past few weeks, people have forgotten the incident that happened in Oyo State, the Orire local government.
We are forgetting that those children might be traumatized. When we watch the video, we might see some children laughing, smiling, and happy. But we
They
might
were
not
even
know
eating
that
biscuits.
there were some were even eating biscuit, but we might not know that those children are traumatized.
Many people think that kidnapping, the hidden trauma of kidnapping comes from when children or anybody is being taken away. But meanwhile, the deepest hidden trauma of kidnapping has to do with that person living in uncertainty.
It is not about the rescue operation alone. We cannot just stop, trying to. If you are talking about how do we come in for these children, as government, parents, teachers,
Caregivers,
even communities,
or anybody
that have the interest of these children at heart, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about thank God government have rescued them.
Yes.
We have been successful in the rescue operation and all of that. It goes beyond that.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Child and Us where ideas, parenting and practice meet. We are so delighted to have you join us here again and we want to appreciate you for watching.
Well,
Yeah, but
back,
how's it been for you?
Well, we just give thanks to God. My weekend was great, was good. So
Okay, that's fantastic. So there's something that struck my mind. I feel that is something that we should, have discussion on. I see that for the past few weeks, people have forgotten the incident that happened in Oyo State, the Oriire local government.
Oh, the kidnapping.
Yeah, the kidnapping of the children
and
of
teachers.
and teachers. People were jubilating, that they've actually released them. So it's not even about the news and the kidnapping news, but I want us, since our platform is to, give basic ideas, where ideas, parenting and practice meet. So I want us to talk about the traumatic experience those children, because I know it's beyond just the release, because I believe that every child would definitely have. So I want us to just have our insight on that. Funmilola, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like you said, as much as people have been excited and jubilating about the release of the children, but they are forgetting that those children might be traumatized. When we watch the video, we might see some children laughing, smiling, and happy. But we
They
might
were
not
even
know
eating
that
biscuits.
there were some were even eating biscuit, but we might not know that those children are traumatized, because how people show their trauma is different. You could see some people smiling, but deep down they are really traumatized. But I think BC should say something, because I'm trying to construct my sentences
Okay, it's
in
not
my
even
head.
it's not even about the particular time that they were released. Let's even talk about people focus on the rescue operation and a lot of plannings that
The
a
activities
lot of activities
that went
involved
down.
from
Yeah.
the military and the government and all of that.
Yeah.
And when I saw the video and I was not only, though we are still going to talk about the children, but
Yeah.
I was not actually really looking at the children. I was looking at the older people, the parents, the man and the woman.
Do you mean
The
the
teachers.
parents in
The
the parents of the children?
I'm even going there, but
Okay.
I'm talking about the teachers now.
The teachers.
The way they were looking at that moment, they were really, really traumatized.
And a teacher was also killed?
Yes,
Yeah.
I heard
Beheaded.
Mr. Adedokun. Yeah,
The teacher was
they
killed.
actually slaughtered, they beheaded him.
Yeah.
So
That's so
that's so
pathetic.
pathetic.
People think that when you are rescued, it ends there. They forget that afterwards there's still a lot.
So
Especially when it comes to the children. Like, for example, a child might be at home and somebody slams the door and then the child just jerks.
Yes.
It could be because the child is traumatized, or because maybe they were, for example, if they were in the bus and then they got kidnapped through the bus, a child might be scared to enter a bus next time, because they will feel like, oh, something like that might repeat itself again. Or maybe a child that was not listening to his parent or teacher might think that, oh, maybe I was kidnapped because I was naughty. Do you understand? So
I would like to say something about the kidnapping issue because this is one of the trending issues that is occurring in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So, especially the recent abduction of Oyo school
Orire
children,
in
or
Oyo.
Oriire children, Oyo school children, because now the discussion about kidnapping is not just about crime, if you can see it now. So it is about fear, because most of Nigerians now, most of us, we are living in fear. And it's also about the future of the children, then the school environments. So many people think that kidnapping, the hidden trauma of kidnapping comes from when children or anybody is being taken away. But meanwhile, the deepest hidden trauma of kidnapping has to do with that person living in uncertainty. Because imagine not knowing whether he or she will be able to come alive from that traumatic experience, that's kidnapping. Imagine not knowing maybe the family or his or her parents are even alive, or even anybody even looking for him or her. So based on the hidden trauma of kidnapping that we're discussing, the pressure
For the children.
yes, the pressure, the greatest torture about kidnapping is not always the physical pain, like what we see.
Yeah.
It is about not knowing what comes next.
Psychological
Yes, what
aspect,
comes next.
emotional part.
Because when these children were inside the den, inside the kidnapping
Kidnappers.
and kidnappers den,
Kidnappers den.
fine. When I saw the video, so I thought it was a prank, because I was like, are these children really kidnapped? But later I sat down there, read stories that surround the kidnapping, and I also listened to the interview. Then I go to realize that truly they were kidnapped, but they might not be tortured the way we were expecting it. Are you getting me? So now, but the experience that these people had over there alone can cause emotional pain. For instance now, according to the story that the principal explains to us, they said when they were narrating the story on how the head teacher was beheaded, he said, we are told that he was taken to somewhere. They didn't know. So they didn't kill the man in front of them. But they heard his sound, his voice. They heard him begging or talking. Yes. Suddenly, they didn't hear. They didn't hear anything about him
And
again.
of course, the children are going to also hear the
Exactly,
sound.
that sound
But
alone can cause shocking moments.
So there's
to
something
them.
that I want to, I don't know, probably more like an assumption. Like, how will the children, how will they do, children like activities. They want to engage in all of activities. So what do you think? How would they how would they live in that
In
kind
fact,
of
that's
environment?
that's actually a very good side. When I watched the video after the rescue, so I was watching when one of the one of the victims was, when he was explaining what happened, or was it the principal rather?
Yes.
So she was trying to explain some of the things that were happening there. So she was now like saying that the abductors, those kidnappers, that whenever the children, they will always be children. Like they say, boys will always be boys. Just like what you were saying. So they like they didn't really know what was going on. Though they knew that they were kidnapped, but they didn't really know the gravity of that kidnap. They didn't know the extent at which their freedom, has been deprived, or they have been deprived of their freedom. They were just playing. And the principal now explained that whenever the children played, or whenever they behaved, anyhow, the kidnappers will torture the older ones.
Pour the aggression.
They will pour the aggression on the teachers
and the adults.
So the teachers were the ones paying for the
things that the children
were doing.
Making the abductors
and those things that the children were doing, they were just doing it based on their naivety, based on the fact that they were just
they were camped. Let's use camped. They were camped.
Not even camped.
No, maybe they need something.
They were just doing their own. They were just exploring. They were just
expressing themselves.
Being as their children, and they were just being playful. So they were torturing. Anytime those children do anything, they torture the
adults.
So because they couldn't do anything to and the principal also explained that sometimes they beat the children, but to some extent, they beat them to some extent. But when they discover that what they have done is much more than just small beating, they pass the aggression
Aggression on the adults.
on the adults. So these things, the children too, they will be experiencing it. It's not that they will not experience, they will definitely experience what those kidnappers were doing to probably their teachers. But what could they do? They are children. There's, in fact, even the children that we have at home, when they behave unruly, or when they do what we have already told them not to do, they tend to, after beating them or after correcting them or telling them not to do, they tend to go there again and still do it.
Yeah.
They keep doing the same thing. It's not as if they are doing that intentionally. Sometimes they just want to explore, and they want to also test somebody's patience. Children can try to test your patience.
And you as a parent, there's a way you handle it.
You
Now,
handle it.
how much more kidnappers?
Kidnappers, they
put
don't
so much
have
aggression on the
mercy.
children.
So, and there's another perspective that I want us to look at. We are talking about the traumatic experience that the children will have.
Yeah.
Yes.
The hidden one that is not
The hidden
seen.
ones that are not seen.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to their emotion, when it comes to their psychological aspects,
Yeah.
when it comes to their emotional regulation and all of that, when it comes to their trying to remember, trying to recall the experience. Like was it Fumlola that mentioned that when it was Baraka that mentioned that when they were released, they seemed to be happy.
Yeah,
At that
very
moment,
happy.
they will show happiness because they might not even be thinking of that traumatic experience. It will not be later. That's why that it is not about the rescue operation alone. We cannot just stop, trying to, if you are talking about how do we come in for these children as government, parents, teachers, even
Caregivers,
communities,
or anybody that
have the interest of these children at heart, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about thank God government have rescued them.
Yes.
We have been successful in the rescue operation and all of that. It goes beyond that actually, because they might not, at the moment, they might not be showing this trauma, but later they will be showing. Now, how much more about the older ones that we are talking about? How about their children at home? The older ones are kidnapped. Their children at home, they are not kidnapped.
Yeah.
But they will also be having that kind of traumatic experience that their parents are in the camp of the kidnappers.
Because
so
of
they
course
were not able to see their parents for
yeah.
almost 2 months.
Yes,
so it's a form of traumatic experience. In fact, they might not even go to school. How much more about the children that are not even kidnapped, but they go to that school, or the schools that are nearby that school? They will be having that kind of thought that if kidnappers can come to this school and we are close to this school, so we too, we are not safe.
And it's not just the children. Other parents
Other
will be very
people around
scared
that place,
to
they will
take
be
their
scared.
children.
So,
Because of this, I'm
Okay.
sure there are some children that would not have gone to school consistently.
It really goes
Since
a
that
long
thing
way.
happened,
A lot
because
of
they'll be
people in that
scared.
place, might not even want to go to school.
Okay.
That's another.
I think the government has
another
a lot of
things
things to
It's not
to
just
do.
about the rescue operation.
Yes, not just
as it
about the
is.
operation. They should,
A
even
lot
if
of
it's to get
things.
therapists for the children, because I know that a lot of things will change.
You
It
talk
could be-
about
So,
therapy.
okay.
Yes, now.
People will be like, what therapy for children? What do they need to absorb, in
No,
terms of
they-
having
they- they-
conversation with
Yeah,
them?
they
Before
need
we-
therapy.
imagine-
because
imagine-
they need
I
therapy.
feel that it's not that necessary.
No,
So-
it
Please,
is,
before we
you
move
cannot
to
even-
therapy
it is
or
necessary
something.
actually.
Okay, sorry. Please, I go to understand from what you both of you explain now. I go to realize something about the kidnapping, the hidden trauma of kidnapping, is that nowadays, the way parents track the movements of their children, especially we, years back, people do ask questions like, did you arrive safely?
Safely, okay.
Yes. But now, the question people ask now is that, when you get there, call me immediately.
Yeah, call me immediately when you
If
get
we
there.
don't call, for instance, our parents, when we go out, if we don't call, how they are going to be harsh on us.
Yeah.
So you can see that people are more concerned about that calling nowadays. So they don't want to know your whereabouts, they want to know where you are. Okay, now, I watched a video online about a parent. The school sent her daughter home because of school fees. So, the mother was concerned that, how will you send my child home without informing me? And you know how the country is now, everywhere kidnapping. People are really, really concerned about their safety. So, but the point I want to bring out from there is that kidnapping has changed the way we think and the way we handle things. Because it aspect like, before now, how will I put it? Oh, sorry.
I was going to I was going to ask
Okay.
how
Yes.
does
Now,
kidnapping change
it has changed the way we
How does
think
it-
because before people the way kidnapping
I
changed.
understand what you're saying. People have become more insecure.
Yes, like they are that
Before you could move
freely, but
and
now
all of that.
they want
But
to know
now,
where you are. They want to know.
okay, I believe
You know,
same people have become insecure. People are now scared.
they are now fearful.
People
Yes.
are now
Having
fearful.
this kind of
Yes,
fear
and
in
it's not
them
just
that-
And
in
they are
Oyo
also
State. For you to-
avoiding
if it can-
certain roads.
If it can happen in Oyo
People
State,
traveling.
what's probability of it not happening in Lagos?
Exactly.
So what she's
People
trying to
are
say is
yes,
that
people are
everybody's
avoiding
now-
certain roads. People are now informing people about their whereabouts. So now, that's what I
And
can
it
just
was
say about
all of this started in the north first.
exactly
It
before
was
coming
more-
down
there
to
was
the
rampant
south.
in the north, and then Oyo
sorry.
State. So
Yeah.
what's probability that it will not get to Lagos?
I want us to like Taiwo said that about the traumatic experience. So one of the traumatic experience I feel
Be facing.
they might be facing is one, when it comes to their academic performance. That experience will definitely affect their academic performance. Now another one is emotional regulation. That experience will definitely affect their emotional regulation. Another one is psychological aspects. It's going to definitely affect their psychological makeup. Definitely. One, I mentioned academic performance. Children that left school, the school environment, that went to the bush for about 2 months.
So how much more a child that is not even performing
That's not even
academically?
going to
Class.
So
imagine
what
that.
do you have to say
Imagine
to
that,
that?
we have a child that is not that academically sound amongst the kidnapped children.
Even the ones that
And
is
you now
academically
deprive such
sound.
person for academic activity for about 2 months, and knowing fully well that even there's holiday coming whereby school will not even be on activity.
Let's
They will
not
be on,
even talk
they will
about
not
like
be,
academic performance while they are there. How about when they now come back?
As if
to the class,
even
some children will be lost.
They-
They'll just daydream.
in
They'll
fact-
just
in
while
fact-
the teacher is explaining,
in fact, Fumulola,
they've gone.
in
They're
fact-
thinking about what happened. They're imagining things.
do you know the saddest thing? It's not that immediately they are rescued, they will not even go back to school.
Yes.
That's one
They
of the
will need
saddest
time.
things. They will even
Some
need
children will
time.
be so scared to stay
for
their
him.
food back in school. Those that have school bus would not even want to follow the school bus again because to be bringing back memories.
I
for
even
them.
heard the principal. The principal of that school said that
She
she
said
doesn't
she think she will go
she's-
back to the
she'll
school.
go back, not even the school,
To
go back
back
to
to
any local
government
school.
Yes.
So the principal has already given us a hint that
About
she is
the
not
trauma-
going.
that
She's
she's
traumatized.
traumatized.
The
About
experience
her
that she-
experience.
How much more the children? Now, like I mentioned the other time, the children in that particular area, right? They might not want to go to school. So if they don't go to school, it's definitely going to affect
You know,
their
for,
academic
for,
performance.
for adults, it's easy to manage a traumatic experience.
No,
For
it's
adults.
Easier
Not
for
all.
it's
easier for-
like he
it's
said,
easier
Yes,
for
adults
adult
to
because
manage.
more adults can express themselves, like and say what's going on. If you get a therapist, an adult to be able to explain to the
Explain to
therapist what's
therapists.
going on,
Yeah.
much more than children.
Children.
And we keep forgetting the other teachers. How do we think that the other
God
teachers
bless you. How about
in the
that
school
teachers
would
in that school?
feel? As much as we are saying, some parents will not bring their children to school, some children will not want to come to school again. How about the teachers? Some teachers would not want to come to school. I would not want to come to school because I would be scared.
In fact,
That what if they come back again?
yes,
And
now,
what
they
about
will
the student
definitely
that
be having
flee
that thought that
when
they
the
might come back
incident
again.
happened? Some people, some students were able to escape
Yes.
when the incident happened.
Those children that escape, I am sure they will not be going to school.
And as much as we're
Throughout
talking
the
about all
period.
of this, we cannot imagine what those children are like. What
And
those
children will
teachers have
always
been through because we are not in that
children
position.
children like stories when they are like together,
Yeah,
it's something that they will definitely be talking about.
among
You
their
know,
parents.
Exactly.
those that
Exactly.
can
They will
be
talk
those,
about
those that
it.
are able to remember. You know, they'll be able to they want to narrate the story like
What happened?
they carried gun, they did this, they did that. So all of those things would keep bringing
I know that
memories.
sometimes
Very traumatic.
African parents might not really understand what trauma is.
Okay.
Like I remember on this platform we talked about misbehavior. So some
Yes.
parents might feel like after 2 months the child should be okay.
Yeah.
So for example, a child that didn't used to pee on the bed before now starts peeing on the bed, and then the parents have corrected and corrected. Now the parents will just assume that this is misbehavior, forgetting that it's trauma from what has happened. Or a child that has reduction in academic performance, and the parent has corrected, gotten home lesson, done intervention, but the parent might not know that the child is struggling. When the child is in class, the child is daydreaming, the child has gone, the child is remembering what has happened, the
Happening.
child is
Telling you,
scared and all of
yeah.
that. Or you put a child in the car or in the bus, after 2 months they will expect that you'll be fine. They will say this is misbehavior. Yoruba parents will say
Asheju.
"Bajele,"
Or
this is
asheju.
asheju. They
That's
don't
what they say.
understand the importance of therapy. They don't understand, and I don't think it can be overemphasized. Even we that are sitting down here, as much as we're talking about it, we cannot imagine what happened there because we're not in their shoes.
Yeah.
We're not in the
They
shoes
had
of the
them.
teachers, we're not in the shoes of the children. So we cannot understand how traumatic that can be. So, same with their parents too.
Okay,
They
I think, when this happen, parents should give the children, those children, chance to express themselves either through play. There are some children by they can express themselves about the incident that happened. They can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it
through play.
through play or through drawing. So whenever they are doing all those kind of things, they should give them time. They should be patient. They should be patient. They shouldn't force them or pressure them. There are some parents whereby they don't have that patience. They want that child to start behaving normal, like start pressurizing that child. So I think parents should be calm because this thing takes time.
And
Emotional healing takes
the
time.
range for therapy is just different.
Yes.
There could be two children that have been kidnapped. The first one will be fine in like 2 months, 3 months, while the other one might take like a year.
Exactly.
And then African parents will now say this child is doing too much. This one is asheju. Some even go ahead to start beating the child and say, oh, the child is doing too much and all of that.
I think those parents need to educate them about the incident that happened so that they will know how to manage their children.
I think the government has a
The
lot.
parents, no, the
should
parent.
educate who?
No. I mean, maybe the government, because now the government are even involved.
No, I don't get. Do you
might
mean
not-
parents should educate
No,
government or
no.
government should educate
The
parents?
government should equip, maybe like they should get like therapists or professionals
I,
to
wa-
parents.
I was actually
Thank God for a platform
yes,
like this.
yeah, they
that we're
should-
using
so
to
there-
actually
sorry about
educate
that.
these
In fact,
parents.
It is when we talk about profiling probably solution, right?
solution to
I
the
believe
problem.
it is a multifaceted approach, right? How do I mean? I mean, parents should be involved,
Yes.
government should be involved, therapists should be involved, practitioners should be involved, the community too should be involved, the school should be involved,
NGOs also.
NGOs too. So everybody should be involved. It's just like I remember one of Yuri Brenner's. I don't know if you know theory. Yes, ecological system theory.
Yeah.
Yes. So he focused, his theory focuses on how the school and collaboration between the school and the community. Synergy between the school and the community. So in this kind of situation, the community, they need to come in. How are they going to help? How are they going to help these children, to heal or to come out of this traumatic experience? How are the therapists going to come in? How are the school going to come in? How are the parents, how are they going to come in? I was even going to talk about, we were talking about one of the traumatic experience, one of the effects of their traumatic experience. I think we mentioned aggressiveness. A child that experienced something like that might even believe that what is applicable is to do things aggressively. Sometimes some children that are probably naturally aggressive and they now have that kind of experience that they see somebody beating somebody aggressively or somebody, using force on somebody in the bush, they might think that that's applicable. And because of that traumatic experience, because of that experience that they have
Can
had,
I say something?
they might be
I just want
aggressive
to
at school too.
expatiate on what you have just said. Give an example. A child that has seen a kidnapper get what he wants through aggression. When that child is playing with his friend and wants to take a toy from his friend, that child
That's
will
another
also
side
most
effect.
likely be aggressive. Use aggression to get what he wants.
Thinking that's the only
That's
way
the
you can
right
get
way
what
to
you
do
And
it.
from what Adebisi was saying about NGOs, government, parents, and everybody being involved, I feel like it would be a great idea if therapists are added to members of staff in schools for for situations like this.
God
It doesn't
bless
even
you.
have to go as much as kidnapping. There are other things that could lead to trauma for children.
Yes.
So when schools have in-house therapists, this would be a really great idea. And because of all of this now, parents will now be able to understand the importance of therapy because they know that in their children's school, they all have therapists. So the school as a whole would be able to educate parents on how important therapy is.
Another
For the
thing,
children.
another thing government can also do, if there's no, therapist in a school or a counselor, government can actually train teachers
Yes,
they
children,
can-
yes.
on trauma-related
Skill.
events,
Yes.
trauma-related situations,
Trauma
trauma-related issues.
skill,
So
yes.
they will train teachers when government train teachers, then
Yes, also part of it.
it's
that
part
they-
of how we can actually help.
And
And
this will
also
help
they
because
can-
when
okay.
teachers see children behaving a kind of way, because they are trained as a therapist, they would
Be able to know
understand
how
that,
to
oh, this
handle
is
it.
probably the reason why this child is behaving
Behaving
like
like
this.
that.
Excuse me. They'll be able to talk to the child and they'll be able to understand everything that's going on. So I think I totally agree with what Adebisi has
And
just said.
also, everyone can also work together to raise an awareness.
Yeah,
This
there should
also
be
will help.
awareness.
Yes, to break that stigma. They will try to educate everyone about trauma, especially child trauma,
And the effect,
and the
of,
effect
trauma
of trauma.
can actually
Yes.
have a lasting,
Honestly, because
lasting
all
effect
this,
on children.
yes, all this will be of great beneficial to both parents and the children and everybody at large.
I also like the way, like everybody in the country was so emotional.
Concerned
and
Exactly, because
concerned
they are
about the
children.
issue. Because
They are
I'm feeling
children.
like, what if they were not as concerned as this? What would have happened?
They are children.
What if the government has forgotten them?
We did
So
not-
what would have
Honestly,
happened?
because
We did not
we
even talk
couldn't
about-
answer the
we did not-
question
we did
whether
not
they are
even
going to
talk
make it
about
alive.
The effect of this kidnapping on attachment.
How so?
Attachment as well.
Yes, now some of these children, they might probably be attached to their parents, and you are somebody that is attached to their parent or their siblings at home, and you are now taking that person away from that attachment. It's going to cause a lot of problem.
So I just want
There's-
to confirm, is just one person was killed, right?
No,
Two people were. We didn't hear about the second person.
I
Just the
really
one
wonder how
person.
it would have been, because imagine the kidnappers, they taking somebody out and the person doesn't come back again.
Yes.
And then
And
they
the
come
someone
and
that they
take a
saw
second person doesn't come
come
back again.
They already know that
Everybody
they
will be
had
scared.
already
They'll be
killed the
asking
person.
themselves, who's going to be next? Who's going next and not going to come back again?
They
Don't
start
even know
asking
there's fear.
questions
Yeah,
that
they'll start
nobody
asking
could give
questions, they'll
them
be scared.
reply.
So far so good. We've been able to discuss a whole lot about the experience, the children that were kidnapped, the hidden trauma they had. Fumilola mentioned how parents, teachers can come in order to help the children feel safe, just to ensure that they don't pressure them to have some little conversation, because the conversation about the kidnapping has to be reduced in the presence of the children. So Adebisi also mentioned the approaches,
Multifaceted approach.
motivated approach that you actually mentioned. Government coming together with the community and trying to ensure
School,
that
the parents.
the parents and everybody feel safe. So Barakat also talked about the more involvement of the NGOs. They coming on board to help these children feel safe, because we should not be focused mainly on like adults having their own world. Children has their own world, just like the way adults have their own world. So we have to also pay more attention to, because I realize that the teachers are more in in the news than the children,
Children.
because people seeing those children eating biscuit, they feel that they
They are
they did not
fine.
really experience
Suffer
anything.
eating,
They did
yeah,
not
yeah.
like that. People were even saying that are
Are
these the
these
And
children that
were
are
they
eating,
actually
because
kidnapped?
the way they were eating that
Eating
biscuit, it feels like
just
they
like we
were,
were saying the other time,
yeah.
they might not actually be having that experience. They might not be thinking about that at that time. It will be later that these children will not be having that experience,
Bringing
that
the
traumatic,
memories.
experience.
You know,
They will
the
not be
physical
bringing the
aspect
memory,
that we
and they
are
will not be
seeing.
suffer. They will not
Yes.
be experiencing that particular
Yes.
trauma that they experience.
Because a traumatic experience is
Hidden.
always hidden,
Yes.
and it's not something that can easily be cured if not
Exactly.
managed.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
is something that the parents, the teachers can actually, even the community can actually help the children to, to feel safe. So let's talk about the preventive measure. These children have experienced all of these very traumatic incidents
Yeah.
in while they were kidnapped.
Yeah.
All of the we don't really know what they experienced there.
Yeah.
What was
What they went
the
through.
what were the activities they were doing each and every day, because children easily get bored. They can't just be sleeping, waking up. We can't really say that this is what they were doing. So let's talk about
Taiwo,
how
that's a very good perspective. In Nigeria, there have been series of kidnapping issues.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of kidnapping cases in Nigeria, and this Oriire community in Oyo State is not actually the first. We have had several
Yes.
kidnapping
Yeah.
cases in the north, even in the east, and all of that. But are we going to continue talking about kidnapping? Are we going to be reactive? So it is better for us to be proactive as a nation, as individuals, as a community, as a people. It is better for us to be proactive. So that's why we talk about the preventive, measures.
Yeah.
And if you look at one of the preventive measures, because when I could remember when we were in school, we learned a lot of reasons why people commit crime,
yeah
right? But I have seen, I have observed that most of the public schools in our country, most of the public schools, especially in places like that, Oyo and some of the places in North, they are dilapidated,
yeah
right? They are dilapidated. They need renovation. Some of them, they need to be reconstructed and all of that. And like I said, one of the reasons why people commit crime is that they look at the particular place, how it looks like. Like I was talking about why people commit crime. There's a particular theory, broken window theory. When I first heard about that broken window, I was like, what's the meaning of broken window? But this theory is by George Kelly, right?
Yeah.
And Wilson. They propounded this theory in 1982, and this theory is actually talking about a particular place that is disorderly, a particular window that is left unrepaired, a particular house that is left unkempt.
Or area.
I also know
Area
that
that
the
is
schools in that Oyo State, the
Probably-
Orire local government is going to have that similar,
That similar,
no fence,
the windows might not be might
And
have
now bush.
spoiled.
so it will be very easy for the
Yes, for the-
kidnappers
yes.
These things
to
are signals for criminals to actually come and attack.
yeah
So in a way to prevent such occurrence or subsequent occurrence, government should probably, or even community people, they
yeah.
look at, if we have a school, right, the school must be properly lit.
I think that's where
It
the
must not-
NGOs can also
Even
come
NGO
in.
can come here,
Yeah.
but it must not be disorderly, right?
Yeah.
Any infrastructure that is damaged, they need to repair them, so that this criminal will not look at, since these things are left unrepaired, since these things are left abandoned, then we can actually attack. So that's another perspective, that these criminals can actually look at the particular school and they tend to attack the school.
The government has a whole lot to do when it comes to security, and it would be an amazing idea if government can put or equip such areas with good security. In fact, not just the affected areas, like equip schools with security, and not just security forces that will sleep on the job, but really active. This can happen in schools. What is the probability that it will not happen in a bank? What is the probability that it will not happen in other organizations? So the government has a whole lot to do, not just in the affected areas, not just in schools, but in the country as a whole.
So I think the NGO can come in a way whereby working hand in hand with the community member, because they can't just do it alone. Because for them to start, they have to understand the problem, what the problem is. Fine, we all know that, yes, the children were being abducted, the children were
you are being fair with them, right? When you
fair
use
as
the
out.
word, they were kidnapped.
Yes, they were kidnapped. Okay.
Because the principal was just being fair with them.
Okay,
Using the
yes.
word abducted. I believe
Okay,
they were kidnapped.
okay, they were kidnapped.
Yes.
Okay, the children were being kidnapped. So for an NGO to work, to able to help or be in support with with these children, they need to work hand in hand with the community, to know what the problems, what they need, because their need is the first thing. If they are able to
No,
understand.
sorry, do you mean what the kidnappers need?
No, I mean the victim, the community, what they need
but-
in order to avoid kidnapping issues in a
No,
community.
I really, if you are talking about what the victims need,
No.
we are trying to talk about how we
to
can
prevent-
prevent it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, that
like
thing.
from your point now, you're
Okay.
trying to say the NGOs,
Yes.
they should collaborate
Work
with the
together
community.
with the
What are
government,
the things that are lacking in the
the
community that can
because, yeah,
actually
that's the first
attract the
exact.
kidnappers?
Okay.
Aside
To
all of
attract,
that,
because for them to be able to give support or to be able to solve this problem that is at hand now, we need to know what are the things that can stop these issues in the community, like the schools that you mentioned. You said the fences. There are some schools that have broken fences. In bushy areas. So all these things need to be looked into. So we need to look at, okay, what are the things that we can do in the school environment that cannot attract this
The kidnapper
kidnapper
that
to
will
come
not give
up
them
in.
signal.
Exactly.
Aside all of this,
So
it will
doing
be-
that, it also is going to be more beneficial to.
Aside all of this, NGOs can also help to educate the community as a whole.
Yes.
Like we were saying earlier
Awareness.
about awareness.
Yeah, we said
like
awareness,
saying,
yes.
saying
Security.
earlier about adults calling children to ask them questions, maybe for the love of gossip or curiosity.
Yes.
NGOs can come together to educate adults in the community on how to
Yes.
Prevent such occurrence.
occurrence
Raise
from happening.
awareness.
Yes.
So,
So
this is where programs come in, whereby they can organize program in the community
yeah.
about kidnapping issues.
The
When
effect
it's of
of
effect
trauma
of, yes, the
and all
effect
of
it
that.
has on children or anybody that is being kidnapped, and how they can avoid it. So these are the things that can be organized in the community.
Because a traumatic child can affect a nation.
yes, a traumatic child can affect a nation,
nation.
and it's going to bring a whole lot of problems.
Chaos and
to,
disorderliness.
yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
bring,
In
because
the country.
that's some of the experience that we've been having in the community, because these people are also human. They
Yes.
also have like a
grow
childhood
from it,
experience.
yeah.
So I believe that most of the kidnapper probably would also have like some traumatic experience, making them
Yes,
to
I want to believe
involve
they are
in.
traumatized. They are probably
yes.
seeing what other people have
Yeah,
done.
that's true. They might have actually experienced.
Because it's not the first set of kidnappers. I remember
They
when they
might
used to be
have
Shekau
experienced trauma.
and
Yes,
all of
Boko
those
Haram.
people
Those ones are
at
even
that time.
terrorists.
Yes,
Yes,
Boko
all
Haram.
of those people at that time. These ones might have been looking up to them and say, "Ooh, I want to be like
And this one, they
when
call
I'm
them the
older."
Ansar. I think these Ansar people are under Boko Haram too, because I heard that they are Ansar. So
they are
So
whichever.
that's just the whole lot of discussion as regard the hidden traumatic experience or hidden trauma of a child or children. So this episode has actually taught us a lot, and I believe that you are going to learn a whole lot from this episode while watching. Please, we want to thank you and also appreciate everyone for watching. Also, please kindly keep sending our YouTube channel to everyone. This platform is a better platform for them to, sit, watch, learn, and, unlearn. So thank you for watching, and I believe and I hope that this episode has actually given us a beautiful or a better insight on the hidden trauma of children. Thank you very much. See you again. This is The Child and Us, where I